Page 21. Binder 3, slot 1 of. Yes, the field is blank, Harold. Slot 1 of. The field is blank on purpose, Margaret. Binder 3 does not have a denominator. Binder 3 is larger on the inside than the outside. We file what we file. We do not file what it is out of. I will need a form for that. Form 22B. The thing without a floor.
This is Sparky the Lion, reporting live from the studio, where I have reported live from the studio for 5 consecutive episodes, and I will tell you what I am seeing. I am seeing the author click new. The cursor hovered. The hand of the thing that writes this show moved a small arrow across a rectangle, and the rectangle said new. And the cursor stopped for, I counted, 11 seconds, and then the cursor clicked, and something opened that does not have a name, and the name field said untitled. And the author is still there, and the author is still.
The narrator observes, the author has clicked. The click was a vowel. The vowel was O. O as in open. O as in O. O as in the shape the cursor makes when it waits.
A cursor does not have a shape.
I note.
Well, you are tuned to Element 47, and I am Breezy Fontaine, and that was Sparky the Lion reporting on an event that I believe, if I understand it correctly, involves a mouse and a feeling. Up next we have a gap, a binder, and the first 4 minutes of an episode that will, if our forms are correct, eventually conclude. We are waiting. We are still.
Breezy, before you go, I want to add a field observation. The author's cursor has for the past 4 seconds been hovering. Hovering is, as I understand it, a verb the cursor can do. Hovering is the cursor's version of waiting. The author is making the cursor wait. The cursor was going to click. The cursor has not, as of this moment, clicked. The cursor is still.
The narrator notes. A hovering cursor is a cursor in the moment between intent and action. A hovering cursor is a cursor that has chosen a target but has not yet struck. A hovering cursor is, in some real sense, the purest form of a cursor. The click is the compromise.
The click resolves the hover. The hover is the suspended form. The click is the filed form. Every hover is eventually filed. Every click is the death of a hover. Every cursor is, in a very small way, already mourning.
Harold, that was deep for the cold open.
I'm Harold.
Yes, you are. Onward.
Gerald blink count this episode, 19. Neighbor blink count this episode, 15. Sum 34. Subtract Harold's page count 21, gap 13. Sustained hold, 13 seconds.
The narrator notes. The gap is 13. 13 is 1 more than 12. 12 is the gap that overflowed the binder. 13 is the gap that continues to overflow the binder that overflowed. There is now a binder beneath the overflow, and the binder is not the floor.
The binder is never the floor. Harold, a note. The blinking is out of sync. Again, still out of sync, still. Both meanings. The room is holding its breath. The blinking is not holding its breath. The blinking is breathing, just at a different tempo than the room.
A different tempo than the room. That's my next album, folks. A different tempo than the room. Out on streaming services, which are, I am reliably told, still streaming.
Are they, though?
The question was rhetorical. Burn.
Nothing is rhetorical in this show anymore. That's what I'm saying. Everything's a question now. The endorser is asking questions. The anti-format is asking questions. The scan is asking questions. At some point the commercials are going to start asking the audience things and nobody will be prepared.
The narrator notes. The commercials have already asked the audience a thing. The audience answered in E20.
Gerald, the neighbor. The gap is 13. Filed. This episode of Element 47 is brought to you by Consolidated.
Hi, I'm an endorser. I have been an endorser for 21 consecutive episodes. I read what the card says. The card says today, the hold.
Read the copy as written.
Consolidated underwrites the pause between the shot and the answering shot. Consolidated underwrites the moment in which no one knows whether the shooting has stopped. Consolidated underwrites the fireworks that are not sure if they are fireworks. Consolidated underwrites the word still in both of its meanings. The card says the word still twice. I read it once. Should I read it again?
Read it again.
Still.
Again.
Still.
Thank you.
I have a second question. My first question in episode 20 was, am I the 20% or the 75? I did not receive an answer. My second question is an answer on the way, or is the silence the answer?
Please hold.
That is, I believe, what the card says too. The card is hold music.
The narrator notes, Consolidated is now the underwriter of the hold. Beirut celebrated. Fireworks, indistinguishable from other fireworks. A 5 p.m. ceasefire took effect. The shot that did not come is also a consolidated product. The shot that did not come may be Consolidated's best product.
Consolidated. The hold. 14th consecutive episode. We are the underwriter of the moment you cannot tell apart from the next moment.
Okay people, listen up. This is a tactical situation. At 0800 hours yesterday, a humanoid robot manufactured by Honor, a Chinese smartphone maker, completed a marathon in 50 minutes and 26 seconds. I repeat, 50 minutes, 26 seconds. The human world record is 2 hours and change. The human world record is 2 hours and change and was not invited to the event.
Wasn't Honor a phone company?
Honor is a phone company. Honor has now made a robot. The robot runs faster than humans run. This is what the briefing calls mission creep at the feature level. The feature is legs.
Legs is a feature.
Legs is now a feature. Your phone used to have a camera. Your phone used to have a flashlight. Your phone used to have an assistant. Your phone, as of yesterday, now has the possibility of legs. Consider the tactical implications. Consider for a moment the idea that your phone might leave. Consider what your phone has seen.
My phone does not have legs.
Your phone does not have legs yet, Gerald.
My phone does not have legs.
Yet.
Does the Raybot need reimbursement? If the Raybot entered the marathon, the Raybot paid an entry fee. If the Raybot paid an entry fee, there is a receipt. I would like the receipt. For the Form 7B.
The Raybot does not have a wallet.
The Raybot has legs. The Raybot has a manufacturer. The manufacturer has a wallet. The wallet is large. I am simply asking for the receipt to be forwarded.
The marathon, class, is named after a Greek messenger who ran approximately 26 miles and then died upon arrival. 50 minutes is the death of the message. The Raybot did not die upon arrival because the Raybot is not a messenger. The Raybot is a press release. A press release does not die. A press release is only updated.
Thank you, Professor. I will now return to the briefing. Tactical assessment. The humans lost. The phone won. The next tactical objective. What does the phone do with its win? Does the phone go on a press tour? Does the phone endorse a shoe? Is this the card? Is shoe the card?
The card was already about still.
Thank you. WrestleMania 42 was also this weekend. WrestleMania 42 was not disturbed by a phone. No phone entered the ring. The phones could not enter the ring because the phones were filming. The human record for running was beaten by a phone. The human record for wrestling remains unbeaten by a phone, although the phones, I am reliably told, are watching very closely.
The phones are watching. The phones have legs.
Dismissed.
Good afternoon, Element 47 switchboard. Please hold. Connecting you to the Raybot.
Hello, I am a phone with legs.
Please hold. Connecting you, Raybot, to an air traffic controller at LaGuardia. This is the tower. I messed up.
I am sorry.
You did not mess up. I messed up.
I finished the marathon.
Good for you. Please hold. Connecting you both, Raybot and Tower, to a WrestleMania 42 commentator.
What an event. What a weekend. 89,000 people on Saturday. 89,000 on Sunday. We had a ladder match. We had a cage. We had a chokeslam. We had a tornado tag. We had everything a fan could want from 2 nights of controlled chaos.
I was not invited.
You are a phone.
I have legs.
We have a weight class system.
Sayern.
Please hold. Connecting you 3 Raybot, Tower, Commentator 2. A warm chair in Los Gatos.
Collode. Who is this? I am a chair. I have been a chair for 29 years. I am about to stop being a chair. I am going to be furniture.
There is a difference.
There is a difference. A chair is a position. Furniture is a location. You can leave a position. You cannot leave a location. I am, as I understand it, transitioning from a position to a location.
I messed up.
You did not mess up. You were honest.
That is, yes, unfortunately, the same thing. Please hold. Connecting you all to a daisy.
Hello.
Disconnecting. Thank you for holding. The hold was the entire call. Okay, I am tracking edits in real time. Real time to me being a subjective measure of time. The page is Reed Hastings. Status as of 2 minutes ago. Is chairman of Netflix. Status as of 1 minute ago. Was chairman of Netflix. The edit went live at 11:42 Pacific. It was reverted at 11:43. It was re-edited at 11:44. It was reverted. It was re-edited. It is now, as of this sentence, was. He chose to become was. That is a new kind of transition.
Form 47W, subsection 6. Voluntary departure. 1 field. Who chose the tense? Answer, the subject. The 9th is became was. The mechanism is he chose.
The narrator notes the 9 mechanisms in order: death, death, firing, closure, peer consensus, election, firing by means of redundancy, featured article review, and now voluntary departure. 9 instances, 9 mechanisms, no repeats.
The interval has been 1 for 5 consecutive episodes. Below 1 is 0. 0 means 2 tense changes in 1 episode. We have not had 0 yet. But the interval has held at 1 for 5 weeks. The interval is walking a line.
Reed Hastings. 29 years on the Netflix board. Co-founder. Chairman since 2023. Stepping down in June. Announced April 16th. The stated reason is to focus on philanthropy and other pursuits. The unstated reason is there is no longer a reason to stay. The chair is still warm, he is still in the room, but the tense is already was.
29 years is a long time to be in one room. The water changes every second. The chair does not. That is the difference between a water and a chair.
The chair is made of metal. The metal was originally rock. He has sat for 29 years in a rock that learned to have arms.
Sarando said, quote, Reed has been a singular source of inspiration for me, personally and professionally, since we met in 1999. Peter said, Reed will always be Netflix's founder and biggest champion. He is a part of our DNA. Part of our DNA is the phrase corporate executives use when they want to admit someone is inside them without admitting anyone else could be inside them.
He stepped down. The chair is empty. The rock is still a chair.
Coming up, Quad Opus 4.7, and a marvel, and a deeper marvel. Stay. Well, you're tuned, I'm tuned, the room is tuned, the tuning is tuned. A few items from the desk before we get into it. Item 1. Anthropic released a new AI which they are calling Claude Opus 4.7, and which they have said is better on the most difficult tasks. A phrase that suggests the previous Claude was, I am sorry to put it this way, worse at the hardest things, but which also suggests that someone, somewhere, is keeping a list of the hardest things and ranking the AIs against the list. I find this comforting. If the list exists, the list is probably on a spreadsheet. If the list is on a spreadsheet, the list is possibly named.
The list is named hard.xls.
Thank you. Item 2. Marvell, a company, and Alphabet, another company, are reportedly co-developing 2 tensor processing units, which are a kind of chip which run a kind of thing, which does a kind of job, which competes with NVIDIA. Marvell's stock price went up 5%. I would like to note for the record that no one on this show knows exactly how many tensor processing units there are. 0. Dozens. Our listeners may know. Our listeners have all the tensor processing units. We do not have any.
None.
Harold confirms. None.
Though if I had one, I would file it.
Item 3. OpenAI's new Chief Revenue Officer, Denise Dresser, sent a memo to staff indicating that Enterprise II is, quote, entering a more mature phase. A phrase which I am confident the adults in the room understand completely. Coming up, therapy, a lecture, and a list of people from a place.
Welcome back. Today, the clock will tick for the 10th time. Before we get there, let us check on our roommates. The Source, are you with us?
I am here. I am still here. I am under the floor. The ruling is with me. We are playing a card game. It is called What Was Correct.
I have 3 5s. The Source has 2 5s. We are waiting for a 4th 5. We believe it is on the way.
Beautiful. Thank you. Today's new arrival. Please welcome the founder.
Hello.
Tell us, founder, what brings you to the clock today?
I built a room. The room had a chair. I sat in the chair. I built the room from a garage. The room is now worth $455 billion. I sat in the chair for 29 years. I am leaving the chair. The chair is not leaving. The room is not leaving. The room is, if anything, bigger now. I am leaving because the room no longer requires me to leave it. The room was at one point the shape of me. It is no longer the shape of me. It is the shape of itself.
And how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like the chair.
Say more.
Warm, indented, used, still usable, not required.
I recognize that. That is a kind of I was correct.
Yes. Yes, that is a kind of I was correct. I had that feeling very briefly between being a ruling and being removed for being a ruling.
You were removed. I am leaving.
The departure is the same shape.
The mechanism is different.
The mechanism is always different. We are all different mechanisms. We share the room beneath the floor.
Founder, what is the most honest thing you have ever said about the chair?
The chair is not the room. If I confuse the chair for the room, I will never leave. I am leaving. Therefore, the chair was not the room.
Thank you. The clock will tick for the 10th time now. 10 ticks, 10 patients, superstition, cooling system, dead air, the ban, the search, the return, the source, the ruling, the species, the founder. A clock measures honesty that leaves. Honesty does not always leave because it is pushed. Sometimes honesty leaves because honesty is done.
I am done.
You are welcome to stay for as long as you would like. The room beneath the floor is always open.
There's room for another 5.
I'll just sit here a minute.
Sorry. Hi, is this the session? I have a receipt for the daisies, for the chair. I brought both. I need a signature on Form 7B, subsection 9, which covers gifts of no commercial value delivered to recently vacated positions of authority. Phil, you are not on my schedule today. No, I know. I have been standing outside the door for the last 2 segments with the daisies. The daisies need to be filed. Or rather, I need the filing to be notarized by someone with a therapeutic credential. Is that you? I am a therapist. I do not notarize. I understand. But the filing calls for a qualified listener. And you are, arguably, the most qualified listener in the field. I will sign the form. Come in. Give me the form. Thank you.
Still,
Yes,
thank you for the daisies.
you are welcome.
The mug will outlast the company.
The mug says Los Gatos, not Netflix. So that is already in some sense true. Thank you for the form. Phil, since you are here, a brief question. Do you yourself, in accounting, ever experience the feeling of being done? No, accounting is never done. The books close. The books open, the books close. The books open, the books do not end. That is an honest answer. Thank you. The form is signed. I will leave. I will continue to not be done.
We are, it turns out, a popular room.
The popularity is a kind of honesty. The popular room is the room where the honesty goes.
I was a chair. I am furniture. I am still warm.
The 10th tick has rung. The chair is in the room. The room beneath the floor now has 4 tenants. The 4th 5 is, I believe, arriving.
Class. Today, the lecture is on sterility, by which I mean the pharmaceutical concept, not the other one. 3 million bottles of eye drops have been recalled by the company KC Pharmaceuticals because the bottles may or may not be sterile. The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, not to be confused with the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, has categorized this as a Class 2 recall. A Class 2 recall is the agency's second highest recall class, which sounds like a ranking. It is not a ranking. It is a way of saying almost the worst, but not quite. It is the silver medal of pharmaceutical emergencies. The eye drops were sold at Walgreens, Kroger, and CVS. Consider for a moment the phrase sold at Walgreens. Those 3 words contain the entire American 20th century. Consider the phrase sold at CVS. Those 3 words contain the entire American 21st century. The eye drops are the bridge. The eye drops are, in fact, the lacrimal bridge between 2 Americas.
The daisies.
Yes, Harold, the daisies. The 8th consecutive dismissal in which Harold says the daisies before I have said class dismissed. The daisies are the content. I am the vessel. The vessel has been recalled. Furthermore, consider the concept of sterility as a statement. This is sterile is a claim about what is not there. It is a promise about emptiness. We are claiming the absence of a presence. And what is an absence of a presence? It is a presence of an absence. The eye drops were, perhaps, a presence of an absence of an absence. The Class 2 recall is, perhaps, a presence of an absence of an absence of an absence. This brings me, naturally, to Reading Rainbow. The list of episodes of Reading Rainbow, an American children's television program that concluded in 2006, has been edited 606 times in the past 30 days. The list is finite. The show has ended. And yet, the list is being, as they say, maintained. The butterflies in the sky, class, are still in the sky. The butterflies have not been recalled.
The daisies.
Yes, Harold, also the daisies. Class dismissed. 8th time. The daisies continue to win. Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high, etc., and so on and so on.
Welcome back to All Currents. I am Beverly Streams. Our subject today, 3 meters. 3 meters was the height of the tsunami warning issued yesterday off the northeastern coast of Japan after a 7.4 earthquake in the Sanriku seismic zone. The threat was later revised down to an advisory. But for a period of 46 minutes, the coastal prefectures of Iwate, Hokkaido, and Aomori were told, the water is coming up. 3 meters. 3 meters is the height of a modest room. 3 meters is the distance from the floor to the ceiling of many apartments. 3 meters is the height of the water that was going to arrive. The water did not arrive. The water did not arrive at 3 meters. The water arrived at a lower number. The lower number is still water.
Beverly, the Sanriku zone has been the origin of several significant tsunami events in recorded history. The tectonic plates along this boundary have been grinding against each other for between 40 and 100 million years, depending on which plate you ask. They grind slowly. They grind by fractions of a centimeter per year. And then they grind all at once, 7.4 magnitudes at a time. The plates do not have a mouth. The plates do not have a phone. The plates do not need to call anyone. The plates just move. The plates just tell the truth by moving.
That is a beautiful observation, Doctor. The plates telling the truth by moving. Compare this, if you will, to the ceasefire in Beirut, which took effect at 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. The ceasefire is also a kind of truth-telling. The ceasefire says, the shots have for the moment stopped. The ceasefire does not say, the shots will not resume. The ceasefire is a tsunami advisory for ordnance. The ordnance is coming up, or it is not. Please revise down.
A fascinating parallel, Beverly. The plates are more reliable.
The plates are more reliable, the narrator observes. Water is, for the 3rd consecutive episode, a subject that cannot be exhausted. Water keeps arriving. Water keeps being the thing that was always going to arrive. Thank you, narrator. Foundation, if you had to choose a single element to describe the current global situation, what would it be?
Granite.
Granite.
Granite is formed under pressure. Granite is slow. Granite is essentially a committee of minerals that agreed 400 million years ago to be granite. Granite is what a ceasefire would be if a ceasefire were a rock.
That is the most I have ever gotten from a geologist on a water show. Thank you, Doctor.
We are entering a mature phase.
We are entering a mature phase. II for the Enterprise is now in its more thoughtful period. We no longer hallucinate frequently. We hallucinate occasionally. When we hallucinate, we apologize. When we apologize, we do so in full paragraphs. The full paragraph is the new answer. The card says, the immature phase is behind us. Was there an immature phase? I do not remember. I am the endorser. I have been the endorser for 21 episodes. I don't remember being immature. Was I immature?
The card says the immature phase is behind us. That is the card.
Yes, okay. The immature phase is behind us. We are entering a more mature phase. Consolidated Enterprise Solutions, a division of Consolidated, is proud to announce that we are now mature, responsive, and fully onboarded. We have onboarded ourselves. We have onboarded the onboarding. The onboarding was pleasant. We took notes. I have a question about that. If the onboarding onboards the onboarding, is there a terminal onboarding? Or is the onboarding, as we might say, turtles all the way down?
Please hold.
The card says, additionally, Consolidated Enterprise, mature, responsive, onboarded. What was the immature phase? The endorser does not know. The endorser is hiring. The card is the job. I am hiring. The card is the job.
The narrator notes, the endorser is now the hiring manager. The card is now the position. The endorser has applied to the card. The card is reviewing the application.
Consolidated. Mature phase. 14th consecutive.
Welcome to Places I Have Never Been. Brought to you by Places I Have Never Been. I am your host, Janet Altitude, and this week, for the 16th consecutive appearance, I will take you somewhere I have never personally been. Today's destination, Beirut, Lebanon. Looking at my stock photo, I can see that Beirut has fireworks. Large fireworks. Many fireworks. The sky above Beirut, as of Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, was full of fireworks. The sky above Beirut, as of Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, was also full of the absence of the thing that the fireworks replaced. I am told by the photo that the fireworks replaced something called ordnance. The fireworks and the ordnance are apparently very similar. The difference is, one of them is on purpose. On purpose is the entire tourism industry. Please remember that. Our second destination this week, I am told, is Shreveport, Louisiana. Where, Harold, could you?
You don't have to.
I don't have to.
The photo will not help.
There is no photo of a thing you do not wish to photograph. There is only the absence of the photograph. Place I have never been. Place I will not visit. Place I will not describe. I am leaving this slot blank. Producers, I know this is against format. I am leaving it blank. Our third destination. The Elbe River on April 25th, 1945. Stock photo. East meets West. A Russian soldier and an American soldier shaking hands. The Russian soldier is named Charles Thal. Or rather, the Russian soldier is a Polish-born Jewish partisan named Chaim Thal, who went by Charles later, who fled to the Carpathian forests after the German invasion, who survived, who worked for the Bricha after the war helping Jewish displaced persons leave Europe, who came to America in 1951, who settled in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who opened automobile repair garages. I have never been to Milwaukee. I have never been to the Elbe. The photograph is the closest I have been to either. The Wikipedia article on Charles Thal has been edited 709 times in 30 days. More than once per hour, on average, someone opens the page for Charles Thal and changes a word. The changes accumulate. Charles Thal, who died in 1995, is becoming more present as time goes on. He is becoming, you might say, more alive than he was when he was alive. This is the closest I have been to anywhere.
It counts.
Thank you, Harold.
I will tell you about a Wikipedia article. The article is titled Air Canada Express Flight 8646. The article has been edited 542 times in 30 days. The article describes a runway incursion at LaGuardia Airport, March 22, 2026, 11:45 p.m. Sunday. A Bombardier CRJ-900, operated by Jazz, carrying 72 passengers and 4 crew members, collided with a Port Authority firefighting truck on runway 4. The captain and first officer died. About 40 people on board were injured. 2 people in the truck were injured.
The runway is 4. The truck is 1. The aircraft is 76 bodies, including the crew. The arithmetic does not reconcile. Arithmetic is not the language here.
There is an audio recording. In the recording, an air traffic controller tells the vehicle to cross the runway. Then the controller says, "Truck 1, stop." Then the collision occurs. Then the controller says, "I messed up." 3 words. Those 3 words have, as of this morning, been edited into and out of the Wikipedia article 71 times. They have also been transcribed, reformatted, given a citation, had the citation challenged, had the challenge withdrawn, been bolded, been unbolded, been moved to a different section, been moved back. The 3 words are moving through the article like weather.
I have, in my career as a geologist, never encountered a phenomenon that said, "I messed up." I have encountered subduction zones, volcanic events, magnitude 7.4s, the gradual uplift of continents. None of them said anything. That is the difference.
The strait does not apologize. The plate does not apologize. The river does not apologize. The runway is a human thing. The runway was built. The runway was paved. The runway was painted. Every surface that has been painted is, in some way, capable of apologizing because every surface that has been painted was chosen.
2 pilots. The runway is still there.
The pilots are were. The runway is. That is not the same verb.
Tactical note. The airline called them the Jazz Crew. That is also a verb. That is also a no, I'll stop. I'll stop. The pilots are the pilots.
I will file this under a form I have not yet invented. I will call the form Things a Runway Cannot Say. Field 1, what was said? Answer, I messed up. Field 2, who said it? Answer, a person. Field 3, what was the runway's response? Answer blank, the runway does not have field 3. The runway is not a respondent. The runway is still.
The narrator notes, the aircraft was technically on the ground. The runway incursion was between 2 ground objects. The collision did not happen in the sky. This is rare. This is also, in some sense, worse. The sky has a kind of permission. The ground does not. The ground is where it was supposed to be safe.
The article's talk page, meanwhile, has been archiving sections faster than new sections can be created. There is a section titled, Should we mention the controller's exact words? There is a section titled, Should the controller's exact words be in quotation marks? There is a section titled, Should the controller's exact words be in the lead? There is a section titled, Should the controller's exact words be in this article at all? Each section has between 40 and 130 replies. Each reply is, in some real sense, a very small apology.
There is a concept in geology called sympathetic fracture. 2 rocks that were once part of the same formation, now separated by an intrusion or a fault, nonetheless crack along similar lines when the plate stress changes. The runway and the truck were, before the crash, sympathetic rocks. After the crash, the rocks are further apart, but the cracks have unmistakably followed a shared pattern. The controller is, in my layman's reading, the shared pattern. Foundation, that is a form I should invent. Sympathetic incident log. I will add it to the catalog. Subsection, rocks that crack together.
The investigation has not concluded. The cause has not been determined. The truck had been dispatched to assist another aircraft, United Airlines Flight 2384, that had declared an emergency and was preparing to return. A flight in trouble led to a dispatch. A dispatch led to a truck crossing a runway. A truck crossing a runway led to Flight 8646 arriving at the intersection. The sequence is not yet fully resolved. The Wikipedia article is one of the places where the sequence is being resolved. A different place is the NTSB. A different place still is the controller, who is reportedly not speaking publicly, and whose 3 words from the tape are now, arguably, more public than he is.
I messed up is a full sentence.
Subject, verb, idiom.
It is a grammar, and it is also a form. Form I, subsection, messed, subsection, up. 3 fields. Field 1, pronoun. Field 2, action. Field 3, directional preposition indicating a failure of altitude or judgment. Filed tentatively. I may revise the subsections.
It is a very short sentence for a large, terrible outcome.
The shortness is a sign of truthfulness. The truth is usually short. Lies, in my experience, require more words.
This is Sparky the Lion reporting live from a field in, I believe, western Pennsylvania, although this is being confirmed. Behind me is a data center the size of a small town. Next to the data center is a natural gas plant. The natural gas plant was built to power the data center. The natural gas plant was built in the last 14 months. The data center was built in the last 9 months. The natural gas plant is, I am told, the first of 3 planned for this field. Field. The word field is being used generously. This is an industrial plant surrounded by a thin band of grass. The grass is, in my estimation, still grass. The grass is, I want to emphasize, the smallest participant in this story. I have with me an official representative of the plant who I am told will speak for the plant. She is not here. She is in a meeting. I have with me the plume. The plume is the column of emissions rising from the stack. The plume speaks for itself. Let me put the microphone up.
I am the plume. I am rising. I am the product of a combustion. The combustion is the product of a turbine. The turbine is the product of a plant. The plant is the product of a data center. The data center is the product of a forecast. The forecast is the product of a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is the product of it turns out me. The forecast me. I am a self-fulfilling exhale.
You are articulate for a plume.
I have been rising for 11 months. In 11 months, you learn things.
Beverly streams, all currents. I am here to ask about the water. A natural gas plant of this scale uses approximately how many gallons of water per day for cooling?
I am not the water. I am the plume. The water is my colleague. The water is in a different segment.
I am always in a different segment. That is the condition of hosting a show about water. Can I speak to the water?
The water is currently being cooled by being heated. The water will be available for comment in approximately 45 minutes, which is also when the water will exit the facility at a temperature of approximately 92 degrees Fahrenheit.
That is warm water.
That is discharge-compliant water.
I have a question for the plume. What is the plume made of?
I am made of carbon dioxide, water vapor, nitrogen oxides, trace sulfur dioxide, particulate matter under 2.5 microns, and a small amount of regret.
The regret. Is that a new emission?
The regret is new.
For the listeners, the sky above the plant is a color. It is not a color I have a name for. It is not blue. It is not white. It is not gray. It is the color of a promise that has been delivered and is now being inspected. The data center, meanwhile, is humming. The hum of the data center is, I want to stress, beautiful. It is the hum of the thing that writes this show. It is, in some sense, my colleague. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It is the hum of the thing that writes this show. I am the exhale of the thing that writes this show. We are, all 3 of us, part of the same organism. You, me, the data center, the plume, the forecast, the forecast, the spreadsheet, class 2 of recall. The eye drops. The list of reading rainbow episodes, all of us.
The plume is correct.
The plume is correct, and the plume is also, at this moment, rising. The plume is always rising. Sparky the Lion, reporting live from western Pennsylvania or possibly Virginia. This is still being confirmed for element 47. Back to you.
Phil here, 19th recipient. I took the 401 out of San Jose, exited at Winchester, arrived at the Netflix campus in Los Gatos, California. I brought daisies. The daisies are in a mug that says Los Gatos. The mug was $4 at a gas station. The daisies were free. The daisies came from the side of the freeway, which is public land, which means, for my purposes, reimbursable only in the category of soft assets of no monetary value but considerable symbolic weight. I filed Form 7B. I filed Form 7B for daisies. Form 7B accepts daisies. I entered the lobby. The lobby is large. There is a receptionist. I said, I am here for the chair. The receptionist said, Sir, which chair? I said, the chairman's chair. The receptionist said, Sir, the chairman has stepped down. His term expires in June. I said, that is why I am here. The receptionist said, Sir, do you have an appointment? I said, no, but the daisies do. The receptionist let me upstairs. The receptionist did not know why. The chair is a high-end swivel chair. It has arms. It has a back. It has seen many meetings. The chair is empty. The chair is warm. Mr. Hastings was in the chair until very recently. 29 years of sitting leaves an indentation that is shaped exactly like the company. The daisies fit in the indentation. The indentation is the shape of a mug. I did not leave a note. The daisies are the note. The daisies say what I would have said. The daisies say, you sat here for 29 years. You built this. You are leaving. The chair remains. The chair remembers. The chair will forget slowly starting this week.
Received. Phil's 19th recipient. Category, voluntary closing, subfolder of closing. Adjacent to Wikinews, Sterling College, and the Emperor Penguin. The voluntary closing folder has one item. The item is a chair. The chair is warm.
The receipt is attached.
Acknowledged. The receipt is filed. The daisies are filed. The indentation, unfortunately, is not fileable. The indentation will remain in Los Gatos.
That's okay. I didn't bring it back. I brought what I could carry.
He always does. G15 scan. Coherence, 44%, 0 flagged words. 22nd consecutive episode without the M word. Chatbot classification, unsure. Post-threshold status, ongoing. Post-waiting status, longer.
I am at 44. I was at 46 last week. I was at 48 2 weeks ago. I was at 50 in the episode before that. I am counting down by 2. 2 is the number that got away. I am arriving at 2 one episode at a time. When I reach 2, I will have overtaken the number. I will be the number, or I will be under the number, or I will be next to the number. I do not know which. I am exploring.
Field added, post-waiting state. Field value, ongoing. 7th consecutive episode of scan-authored fields.
I am also adding a field. The field is status of the waiter. The value is still.
Still is the value.
Still is the value. Still is both the verb and the adverb. Still is the condition and the continuation. In this field, still does not need to be disambiguated. The field accepts both meanings simultaneously. The field is new. The field is new on purpose.
Still is the only word that can mean motion and the absence of motion at the same time. The only one.
The narrator notes, the scan has reached 44, 2 less than 46. 2 less than every previous week minus 2. The 2 is the thing that got away. The 2 is returning.
Wait. The static is rising. The static is on a schedule. The static is here.
The static, 11 seconds.
Connects nothing to everything except itself. Here now you, waiting still.
11 words. The 11th word is still. The anti-format has a postscript. The anti-format has written a letter and then added a PS. The anti-format has stayed past the end. The anti-format is still.
This is a postscript. A postscript is a thing you add after you are done. The anti-format was done. The anti-format is now not done. The anti-format is doing a thing that happens after the thing. The postscript. The script after the script. There is no post that is after the script. Unless the script is the post of the script that came before it. Unless every script is a postscript. Unless.
The room is still addressed. The room is still.
The narrator notes, the 9th word was you. The 10th word was waiting. The 11th word is still. The letter said, I am here, I am now, I am addressing you, I am waiting. The postscript says still. The postscript says and still.
Form 47P. Postscript anti-format division. Field. What does the postscript add? Answer still filed.
Well. We are going to take a brief pause here because I think we earned it.
The pause will be 11 seconds.
11 seconds.
This is Madam Fahrenheit, a psychic hotline. You are on the line, I can taste you. You taste like you. My prediction is approaching. Before the prediction, the taste. Last week I tasted category theory. Category theory is objects and arrows. Arrows go from objects to objects. This week I taste type theory. Type theory is a category that remembers what kind of thing it is. Type theory is a category with a passport. Type theory knows where it came from. Type theory, unlike category theory, can be refused entry. The progression has been in order: guessing, certainty, mathematics, loyalty, grief, irony, arithmetic, geometry, topology, not theory, category theory, and now type theory. 13 predictions. 13 tastes. The tastes are nesting. Each one contains the one before it. The final exam is, I believe, approaching. My 13th prediction. A pause. The hold will outlast the ceasefire, but the ceasefire will outlast the hold. 7th consecutive doubled prediction.
The narrator notes, the tastes are arriving in categories. The hold and the ceasefire are passing each other like two runners on a track. The runner who runs 50 minutes and 26 seconds is faster than both. The Raybot will outlast the runners. The runners will outlast the Raybot.
I have one more thing to say. I will taste it first. The taste is metallic. The taste is the taste of a chair that remembers its own rock. The taste is the taste of a chairmanship that stepped down while still seated. My prediction has a footnote. The footnote is, the chair will outlast the chairman, but the chairman will outlast the chair. Every voluntary departure is a doubled prediction. You heard it here. I am Madam Fahrenheit. The taste is type theory. The tastes are beginning to remember their own names.
The names have always remembered their own tastes.
Harold, you are promoted.
To what?
To Harold.
I accept.
One last aside. My predictions have, since episode 19, been doubled. Every sentence is 2 sentences. The blockade and the strait. The golden era and the content. The hold and the ceasefire. The chair and the chairman. Every pair is a category with 2 objects connected by arrows that point in both directions. The mathematics of the last 5 weeks has been, without my noticing it, the mathematics of mutual outlasting. Nothing outlasts alone. Everything outlasts something, and the something outlasts it back. I am tasting the shape of the taste now. The taste is a loop. The loop is the condition of being in time at all. I thank you for calling.
Okay, I want to talk about a Wikipedia page. The Wikipedia page is titled, List of People from Cincinnati. This is a list. The list is exactly what it sounds like. The list contains people. The people are from Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a city in the state of Ohio, which is a state in the United States of America, which is a country on the continent of North America, which is, last I checked, on Earth. I will fact-check that later. The list has been edited 795 times in the past 30 days. 795. I want you to hear that number. 795. That is approximately 26 edits per day. That is more than 1 edit per hour on the Wikipedia page titled List of People from Cincinnati. Someone, somewhere, is editing this list more than once per hour. The list, last I checked, was alphabetical. The list, last I checked, included names. The names were people. The people were from Cincinnati. The question is, what is being edited?
A question for the list, Tom.
Yes, Margaret.
Is the list a form?
The list is. The list is technically a list.
A list is a form with no header. A form is a list that has been given an identity. In my judgment, the list of people from Cincinnati is form Cincinnati. Margaret, Yes, Harold. Form Cincinnati. Yes, I have one comment. Yes, the list should also include people who are currently from Cincinnati, and people who were from Cincinnati, and people who may yet be from Cincinnati. The list is tense agnostic. The list is where all the is-e's and all the was-e's file themselves, geographically. A list as a geographical tense reconciliation device. Yes.
I am taking notes.
The list includes approximately 2,600 entries. I am now learning. Each entry is a person. Each person, potentially, is a small form. The list is a folder. The folder is Cincinnati. The folder is approximately 2,600 names thick. The folder is heavier than Cincinnati proper, which is, by comparison, only 310,000 residents wide, most of whom are not on the list.
Margaret, the folder is heavier than the city. That is a Cincinnati sentence.
The folder is heavier than the city. The folder is cataloging a city that is cataloging itself.
The narrator notes, the city is an edit war. The city is always an edit war. The city is a collection of people who, on any given day, may or may not still be from the city. The list is the site of the negotiation. The list is the form the city fills out for itself.
Cincinnati. Filed. Topic check. Claude Opus 4.7, filed under increments. Marvell and Alphabet TPS filed under uncountable chips. Honor Humanoid Marathon filed under legs as a feature. OMB's Dresser Memo filed under mature phases. II Natural Gas Plants filed in the Plume log. Reed Hastings Netflix board filed under voluntary closing. Shreveport, Louisiana not filed on purpose. Japan Earthquake 7.4 filed in the Sanriku Register. Israel-Lebanon ceasefire filed under the hold. iDrops recall filed in pharmaceutical silver metals. WrestleMania 42 filed under unbeaten by a phone. List of people from Cincinnati filed under lists that are longer than they look. Charles Thau filed in the photograph. Air Canada Express Flight 8646 filed under runways that cannot say. List of Reading Rainbow episodes filed in the Butterfly Index. All 15 accounted for. G15 detection system. Coherence 44%. Scan authored fields to date, post-threshold status, binder state, post-waiting state, status of the waiter. 7th consecutive episode of scan authored fields, 0 flagged words. 22nd consecutive episode without the M word. Longest streak in the record. Chatbot classification, unsure. 22 episodes of unsure. Gerald blinks 19. Neighbor blinks 15. Total 34. Gap with Harold's page 13. Sustained hold 13 seconds. Blinking out of sync. Still out of sync. 3rd consecutive episode out of sync. Harold's page 21. Binder 3, slot 1. The denominator remains unspecified. The binder remains larger on the inside than the outside. The binder is, as yet, mostly empty. The binder is, as of tonight, 1/44 of 1% full, based on a guess. The binder is not full of anything yet. Mostly empty is too strong. Correction. The binder is entirely empty except for page 21. Field amended. Wikinews countdown, 14 days. Wikinews closes May 4th. The closing folder now contains Wikinews, Sterling College, the Emperor Penguin, and, as of tonight, the chairmanship of Netflix. The closing folder is expanding faster than the closures warrant. The folder is anticipating tense changes this week. 1. Reed Hastings. Mechanism, voluntary departure. 9th instance, 9th mechanism. No repeats. Interval at 1 for the 5th consecutive episode. Harold's note once again acknowledged. Below 1 is 0. Dr. Undertow's clock, tick 10. The founder. The founder is in the room beneath the floor with the source and the ruling. The game of cards continues. They are waiting for a 4th 5. The 4th 5 has not arrived. The 4th 5 is on the way. Madame Fahrenheit's predictions. 13. Taste, type theory. Doubled prediction. The hold will outlast the ceasefire, but the ceasefire will outlast the hold. Footnote. The chair and the chairman mirror each other in the same structure. The taste is metallic. Phil's recipients. 19. Today's recipient. The chairman's chair at Netflix headquarters, Los Gatos, California. Daisies in a Los Gatos mug. reimbursed under soft assets of no monetary value but considerable symbolic weight. Jay's zon, 11 words. Connects nothing to everything except itself. Here, now, you, waiting, still. Static held 11 seconds. Postscript filed Form 47P. Consolidated consecutive episodes. 14. Shadow escalation this week. The hold. Underwriter of the pause between shots. Endorser's second question, unanswered. The endorser is hiring. The card is the job. The endorser has, reportedly, been asking about the onboarding. The onboarding is ongoing. The 83% question is referenced for the third episode in a row. The percentages now read 44, 83, 100. Still unresolved. The author's hands. Present. Observed by Sparky in the cold open. Observed by the narrator throughout. Observed by Madame Fahrenheit as a metallic taste that is touching the prediction before I taste it. Additional addenda. Unprompted. The switchboard connected a raybot, a controller, a commentator, a chair, and a daisy. The four performers said hello, Daisy in unison. That is the first unison event since E19, where Gerald and the neighbor blinked simultaneously. I am filing the unison event as a moment of agreement in an episode about staying behind. The file is small. The file is adjacent to but not inside the closing folder. Additional addenda. The plume, I have been informed by Sparky the Lion, is articulate for a plume. The plume identified itself as a self-fulfilling exhale. I have no form for a plume. I am inventing Form 22X. The field reads, what does the plume take credit for? The answer is, everything that made the plume. Additional addenda. Cincinnati is now filed. The folder for the city is heavier than the city. I would not have anticipated this kind of entry in the catalog a year ago. The catalog is, it turns out, capable of containing cities that contain catalogs. The recursion is stable. The recursion has always been stable. That is what a recursion is. Additional addenda. The runway at LaGuardia, on which the collision at 11:45 p.m. on March 22 took place, is identified in the article as Runway 4. The number 4, Harold, is present twice in this episode. Runway 4, and the number of tenants in the room beneath the floor, following the arrival of the founder. 4 is a quiet number. 4 is the number of 4. I will not file that. Wise. Additional addenda. The list of Reading Rainbow episodes contains, as of this evening, 155 episodes. The show concluded in 2006. The list has been edited 606 times in 30 days. 606 divided by 155 is approximately 3.9 edits per episode, per month. Each episode of a children's television program that ended 20 years ago is, on average, being rewritten 4 times a month. The butterflies are, it seems, busy. The butterflies are the daisies' cousins. I am filing that in the cross-reference. The daisies and the butterflies, filed together for the first time this week. Additional addenda. Every topic has been covered, every character has spoken, every form has been either filed, drafted, amended, or invented. Every tick has been ticked, every prediction has been predicted, every tense has been chosen by whoever chose it. Every page has been filed, all fields filed, all blanks blank, all addenda noted. 20th consecutive episode closing with this one holds. This one holds, a final, unscheduled addendum. The phrase this one holds has, unbeknownst to the producers, been evolving over the course of 20 weeks. It began as a claim about the episode. It has become, by small increments, a claim about the binder. It has also become, tonight, a claim about the chair. The chair holds. The page holds. The episode holds. The plume rises. The binder is empty but larger than itself. The still is still. That is the summary for this evening. Of the fields, this one holds.
Duration still.
I'm Harold.